and senior physicians of the city. I have been given the task to talk about the cardiovascular risk management, the challenges and the solution. Challenges, we know that all these diseases, if we call it the hypertension, diabetes, dyslipidemia, metabolic syndrome, all of them come from the common soil. And they have a common soil, a common seed, and the external factors act like water, like you can say the soil, so that a tree can be born. So all the diseases have a common soil. So the current challenges are changing epidemiology, the fast urbanization, especially in India and developing countries. Not only fast urbanization, also the dense population in some part of the country. And early detection of risk factor is a challenge, because risk factors are also changing are from US, but we have to follow them because still we lack our own guidelines which are backed by our own studies. Indian guidelines are there, but these guidelines have been framed on the basis of the studies done abroad. We do lack these studies in the Indian population, which our Honorable Vice Chancellor said that we have to generate data. And data cannot be generated by the university, by the faculty alone. They have to be generated by the masses, by the physicians of the country. And one anemia, increased LDL, small dense particle LDL, and hypertension. Now, once we have identified, we know about the risk factor, then how we can address these risk factors? We can address the risk factors by a composite mechanism. But before that, we must acknowledge that inadequate control of blood pressure is in spite of regular visit to a doctor. Most of these patients which are regularly visiting to their doctor in the Western countries, not only in India, in the Western countries, because the data from the Western countries, these guidelines have been framed, and there are plenty of guidelines which are available, but still they have not been implemented. So one thing can be implementation of the guidelines for the CV risk management. For this particular purpose, I would like to refer this particular study, pure study. This study showed underuse of the low-cost medicines for secondary prevention among participants with a history of cardiovascular disease or stroke. Those who have suffered the cardiovascular disease or stroke, and this is the percent of diagnosed cardiovascular disease patients using selected medicines. And these are the common medicines. You know, these medicines you are prescribing them. The ACE inhibitors are ARBs, the statins, beta blockers, and antiplatelets. These are the drugs which are commonly prescribed. So even these patients who were having the CVD or stroke, only 19.5% of them receiving the ACE inhibitors are ARBs. And only 14.6% of them were receiving statins, and only 17.4% of them were receiving beta blockers, and only 25.3% patients were receiving antiplatelets. So this is the poor state that despite of these guidelines, these medicines are not being prescribed, are being prescribed, but the compliance is poor. They are not receiving the therapy. In this particular Eureka study, this is a European study on cardiovascular risk prevention and management is usual daily practice. This study was carried out in 12 European countries from May 2009 to January 2010. And this was to evaluate the physician's attitude to risk factor control, the normal physician attitude. And if you see the percent of all physicians, and according to these particular guidelines, how many of them were following these guidelines in Germany and Europe. You see that ESC and CVD prevention particular guidelines, only 60% of the Germany physicians and 55.9% of the European physicians, other Western European, Germany is also Europe, were following these guidelines. And other guidelines, ESC, ESH, hypertension guidelines, only 45% in Germany and 28.5% in other part of Europe. They are following the particular guidelines. ATP third guideline, which is very important for the control of the lipid or the dyslipidemia, addressing dyslipidemia. Only 9.1 and 8.1% physicians were applying these guidelines to their patients. And same was the story with JNC7 and the local guidelines, their own guidelines and other guidelines, and these particular 12% and 13% were not following any guidelines. So these guidelines that they created after a lot of research, they are not being followed even in the Western world. What to talk about our own country? Because we do not have the guidelines for our own people. We are following the guidelines either from the American societies or from the European societies. Compliance to therapy, it is another issue. The compliance to therapy is very poor. And even for secondary prevention, what to talk about primary prevention? For secondary prevention, in the previous study, you see the patient continue or discontinue use of medicine was studied, and you see that 1/3 of the patient discontinue treatment within 1 month. Within 1 month. Here in India, the situation is worse. The patient may contact a cardiologist for various problems. And what to talk about other medicines? He is not able to continue these medicines for very long. Within 2-3 months, the medicines are discontinued. And these are the data from the Western world. Only 66% patients were continuing taking all the 3 medicines. The 3 medicines were given. And the discontinued use of all medicines was 12%, and discontinued use of 2 medicines were 3%, and discontinued use of 1 medicine was 17%. So the compliance is a big issue, and this compliance issue had to be addressed. We all agree that if the drug is given once a day, or only 2-3 drugs are given, or only 1 drug is given, then the compliance is better rather than 5, 6, 7, 8 tablets are given. This another study, original study, effects of a fixed dose combination. The fixed dose combination to address the issue of compliance. The effect of fixed dose combination status on adherence and risk factor in patients with or at high risk of CVD, the Umpire randomized clinical trial. In this clinical trial, 2004 patients with established cardiovascular disease or at risk of cardiovascular disease were enrolled between July 2010 to July 2011 in India and Europe. This study is important because in India also. The objective was to assess whether the FDC delivery, the fixed dose combination delivery of aspirin plus statin plus antihypertensive drug versus usual care improves long-term adherence to medication or not. Usual care meaning by these medicines given separately. And the Umpire trial showed that use of FDC strategy resulted in significant improvement in medication adherence and significant improvement in systolic blood pressure and LDL cholesterol. 77% of the patients were compliant to this particular drug, having the combined 3 drugs, and only 23% were compliant to the usual care, that is 3 medicines, different drugs. So, 3-fold increase in compliance was achieved just by combining the drug in one dose. So that was the idea behind the poly-pill concept, and that gave the innovative idea to decrease cardiovascular risk with improved compliance by introducing the polycap. And all those who are practicing, they might be knowing that the polycap concept is already there, and we have the different formulations for the polycap. And this is for more adherence, and adherence or compliance will be more, then the risk reduction will definitely fall. One issue which is being talked when we talk about poly-pill concept or polycap is that whether when we combine these 3 compounds together, what will happen to their bioavailability or what will happen to their pharmacokinetics. For that very particular purpose, the particular drugs which were having no issues with pharmacokinetics, they have been put together, and their bioavailability and the area under curve has been seen in both the conditions, combining them and using them separately. And in that context, if you see here the polycap versus the baby aspirin, similarly polycap versus the Atlas, and simvastatin, the Polycab versus the simvastatin, and atenolol, Polycab versus the atenolol compound has been compared. And by this particular study, it is clear that the bioavailability is maintained even after the combination of the drugs. And there was no pharmacokinetic interactions, or there were no issues, and all the three drugs were having the good pharmacokinetic synergy. 92% of the patients completed the trial, and Polycab preserved the individual pharmacokinetic profile, which is very, very important. And that is why the different salts have been combined together. This particular study, the Indian Polycab study, TIPS, the Polycab mean change in blood pressure, was studied and was published in Lancet. The BP lowering by single drug, BP lowering by 2 drugs, BP lowering by 3 drugs, and by Polycab was compared. And in the comparison, you see the maximum BP lowering was seen by the Polycab, 7.4 millimeter of mercury systolic and 5.6 millimeter of mercury diastolic reduction was seen by using Polycab. This was more than when the drugs were used. One drug of course will have less reduction, but even the 3 drug reduction was less than the Polycab concept. And the better control, so we can say that by Polycab or the polypill concept, there is better control of blood pressure, the reduction in the heart rate, and the reduction in the LDL levels. For that particular purpose, the drugs were given, and the platelet aggregation was also addressed. The effects were similar to individual drug regime, and 85% of the patients completed the trial in Polycab arm, so there were better tolerability. The drug was tolerated better, and by that 85% of the patients were able to complete the study. So Polycab reduces multiple risk factors with improved compliance. The compliance was improved with all the preservation of their particular role in the drugs by better compliance. So benefits of the polypill are, the advantages are significant severe risk reduction, improved adherence and compliance, reduced side effects, and of course the saving of the cost. When we combine these 3 drugs, all the cost is saved and drug becomes more affordable. So widespread global interest among physicians, patients, policymakers about this particular point, that is the polypill concept. Who can benefit from Polycab? The patient with established cardiac